Johnny, sometimes I just want to give up.
Susie, what's going on?
Everything. My dad lost his job and we might have to move. Grandma is really sick and Mom is trying to take care of her and us. My life is a mess.
I'm sorry.
I wonder if God is mad at me.
Susie, God's love for you never changes. Even though you don't feel like He loves you, He still does.
But why are all these bad things happening?
God never promised that our lives would be problem-free. In fact, God allows troubles in our lives to help us trust Him more.
Well, I wish God would see that it's not working.
Susie, remember the story of Naomi and Ruth?
Yeah?
Naomi felt the same way you do. Her husband died. Then her 2 sons died. She was poor and alone, except for Ruth. She felt God had let her down and was mad at her.
What happened?
God showed Naomi and Ruth that He did love them and that they could trust Him. God is in control all the time, even when things are hard, and He loves to bless us.
How did God bless Naomi?
First, He gave her Ruth, who took good care of her. Then He worked it out so that Boaz would marry Ruth and take care of both of them. Then God blessed Naomi with a grandson named Obed.
I remember now. Obed was the grandfather of King David.
Right, and the greatest blessing was that Jesus, the Savior of the world, would be born to a descendant of King David's.
Wow! I just thought of something. Naomi thought she was just an ordinary person. She never realized that Jesus, the promised Savior, would be born through Ruth and Boaz.
Susie, we think we are just ordinary kids living ordinary lives, but God is always at work in our lives.
It will be fun when we get to heaven and see how God's plan for us turns out.
So, keep on trusting God. That means holding on to what you know is true about God, even when your life seems like a mess, because God never stops working in us.
Johnny, I'm going to thank God right now that He is working in my life, even though I don't understand what His plan is. Bye, kids.